Hello everybody. Well, I was going to do a vlog today, but I'm sick. So instead, I decided not to waste my time and I wrote a story for someone. And this story is for the garden snake. So if you'd like to get comfortable, I'm going to read it to you. Jake, are you comfortable? Put the AK down, Jake. No, you don't need an AK for story time. Put it down. Thank you. Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Jake, who loved nothing more than to play in his Texan garden. These were simple times for Jake. The sorts of days you look back on later in life to bring a smile to your face. Jake loved nothing more than to play with the animals and insects in his Texan garden. He would chase the butterflies and bugs around all day, trying to catch them. But no matter how many times he tried, he could never catch one. They were too nimble and quick for Jake's little legs. They just could not carry him fast enough. Sometimes he would try and catch slower things like Mr. Armadillo. He had stumpy legs too. But grumpy old Mr. Armadillo was still too fast for Jake and would just curl up in a ball and hide under the house. One day, in the warmth of a Texan summer evening, Jake was sat on his porch watching the hummingbirds dance and dart around the flowers. They would pass through beams of light that passed through the trees, glinting like incandescent jewels. It was a beautiful sight that could bring a contented smile to anyone's face, but not Jake's. Jake's mum came out on the porch with a glass of lemonade. Softly she said, "What's wrong, Jake? It's a beautiful evening. Why are you sad?" Jake took the glass from his mother and took a sip of the sweet, fresh lemonade. "Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to be friends with the animals in the garden, but they're all too fast for me and my stumpy little legs." Jake's mother sat next to him and gently took his hand. "So you want to make friends with the animals in the garden, but your stumpy little legs won't let you go fast enough?" "More than anything in the world," Jake replies. His mother says in the most understanding and caring voice that only a mother could know, "Well, why don't you go and play with Mr. Garden Snake?" "Who?" stutters Jake. She repeats herself. "Mr. Garden Snake. He lives under a blue-grey rock at the bottom of the garden. He sits still all day long." "Really?" says Jake. Seeing Jake's face light up almost brought a tear to her eye. "Yes, but he's in bed now, and so should you be. You can play with him after breakfast." She places her hand on his shoulder and leads excited but sleepy Jake to bed. The next morning, after a breakfast of pancakes and blueberries, his mother said, "Are you going to play with the garden snake today?" "Yep," says little Jake. "Okay, well, you have fun with him." Jake runs to the bottom of the garden and finds the blue-grey rock his mother had told him about, lifts it up, and sure enough underneath is a snake coiled up like a spring. He reaches his hand out to greet the snake. It was at this precise moment his mother remembered she knew fuck all about snakes, just in time to see Jake receive a lethal strike from Mr. Rattlesnake and drop down dead almost instantly. It was also at this point that she thought it would be a good idea to get a book on identifying snakes. She lived happily ever after. Jake didn't.